Hello everybody, this is JD. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 10 laws that will govern, rule, or dictate how the Constitutionalist Party shall be. The order may not be right and there may be some changes into the writing, but these are the basic ideas. Gotta put my glasses back on. Gotta do some reading here, okay? First, as I myself wonder, what do I want the Constitutionalist Party to be? First, we have to remember our motto, what it is and what it shall always be. Ask not what our country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. Let us not forget that the people are not to serve the government, but the government is to serve the people, and nothing and no one else. That's a combination of JFK's and my writings. And remember my motto of 2008, don't vote Republican, don't vote Democrat, vote American. And if we separate the ask not and the people are not to serve, then there's a failure within our society and the functions of our government. One cannot exist without the other. We, the people, must ask what we can do for our nation as a nation and each other. Yet our government must also understand that the people are not to serve the government, but the government needs to ask itself, what can we do for the people? Not the country as a government, but a country of the people. Those must never be separated. Then now, let's talk a little bit about the 10 laws that I got. To be such a political party that until the very last vote is cast, no one will ever know the outcome of the actual national election. That's one reason the Constitutional Party needs to be there, so that no one can predict themselves to be a winner just by their party alone. That it's you and each and every one of your votes that must be counted before they can say who is the winner. So your voice matters. A party that is solely there and designed to be there to protect each and every citizen of this nation. And that will be first and foremost in the Constitutionalist Party. Above all else, that no political party will ever again have or maintain or obtain the complete control over the government, the country, and us, the national people. Never again should we ever experience what we have experienced when one political party gets full control of everything. To be the guardian of the United States of America's Constitution and to assure that the Constitution is enforced as it is by due law properly written. Not someone's interpretation, but as it is written. That is very, very important. That means, for example, the federal government cannot and shall not make any rulings whatsoever when it comes to prayer in school. How you shall pray. When you have a religious ceremony, which ones can and cannot be performed. It does not have the authority to recognize or non-recognize any or all established religions. So, when someone chooses to get married in a religious organization and a religious organization chooses to acknowledge that, the federal government does not have a choice on what it can and cannot recognize. Because the Constitution says that. You owning a gun. I still have yet found the reasons for Waco. As long as those guns they had never left their property, the Constitution guarantees them they can have those guns. When the people left there that wanted to leave, why did the federal government continue? Don't understand that. To ensure the Constitution, as it is properly by due law written, that each citizen from birth to death is guaranteed their rights. The guardian of the United States Constitution, to ensure that our Constitution shall remain and is always the supreme law of the land and our country. That no other organization shall ever be held above the Constitution. That includes the NWO, New World Order, or the UN, or any other such like organization. Our Constitution will always be the supreme law of the United States of America, and the Constitutionist is a guardian to ensure that. That we the people, this is number 7, will have an avenue to vent our frustrations against all political organizations whatsoever, without fear of reprisal from any form of government, whether city, state, or national. The Constitutionist Party is there for you to have an avenue to join, to band together and express your frustrations, no matter what they are. We are there to protect you, the individual citizen. We ask that you join us to give us the clout that is needed so that you, each and every American, no matter what group you belong to, no matter what your heritage is, no matter what your ethnic background is, the Constitutionist Party is there to give you an avenue to vent your frustrations. Number 8, to ensure that each and every citizen, from their birthright until their final death, have all their rights and citizenships protected from any and all political maneuvers and or such groups. From the day of your birth, the instant, the second of your birth, we are there to protect you till you take your final breath. Now, some may argue about pre-birth and some may argue about after death. That is your religious morality. That is the responsibility of your religious morality, not the government. I would love to tell you all, yes, from the moment of conception to the 2 months after you're buried into the ground. But I cannot. Because the government is a society of people. And from the time you're born to the time you die, you are a member of that society. Also, to ensure that we the people can and will always have a legal avenue to repair or fix our nation as we see fit. When our nation or national government fails or falls astray from the constitutional and Constitution foundations. When our government decides it's time to do things their own way, and to heck with you the people, plain and simple, or the Constitution, we are there to say, no, it cannot be. And we will fight with you the people. It's a big chunk for one party. I don't even call it a political party because we don't even like the taste of the name political. We are there for you, the people, not for the politics. And 10th, above all else, that our Constitution and our nation's people have the full protection from either the extremes of the left or the right, and always from the illegal governments that our Constitution prohibits. These are the 10 laws of the Constitution. I ask you all to help on it. This is how I wrote it. I would love some inputs on how to fix it. But the purpose of the Constitutionist Party is to protect each and every one of you. There's no one person better or greater. We are all equal under the eyes of our government. We are all great under the eyes of our Constitution. We are. And then finally, we as a nation must ensure that each and every citizen has the right to stand up upon each other's shoulders to realize our dreams and the future of our children. That's right. We as a nation, we stand upon each other's shoulders so that all can realize and fulfill their dreams. Not just you, but also our children. All of us standing upon each other's shoulders, joining hands together, creating such a shape that no one can perceive what it even looks like. Imagine everybody standing upon everybody else's shoulders and grasping everybody's hand. That cannot even be perceived as a shape. So that all can realize their dreams, their future, and our children, and our grandchildren, and their children, and their grandchildren, and so on. And that's what the Constitutionist Party is about. We must also realize that any government that becomes too large for its people and the nation only increases their government's own waste, thus allowing corruption throughout the government. Now you might say, how is the two tied together? I will do a video, but the larger the government is, the larger the waste is, the larger the waste is, the more corruption can be hidden. We will talk about that. It can be truly said, the larger the government, the more there is corruption hidden within that government. We must insist upon a sleek, small, honest, free government, not a corrupt, wasteful monster, a megalith of a system or government. And then there's a little JD there, indicating that's me. That is the 10 rules, and that's what the Constitution is about. Protecting you. Insisting on a small government. Insisting on a government where your voice can be heard and can be expressed. Insisting on you. Each and every one of you. No one other. No one group. That's why when you ask me, what will I do for you? Don't ask me what I will do for the Mexicans. Don't ask me what I will do for the French, the Spanish, the Hispanic, the black, the Afro, the white, the Anglo, the Oriental, and Eskimos, and every other group. Because I can't even think of the thousands of groups that are inside this country. Every one of you belong to several different groups. But we, the Constitutionalists, are here to protect each and every one of you above all else. And that's the only thing I can answer. When you say, what will I do for, ask me you. Because that's what matters. We as a society must understand we what we must be able to do for our country, but yet our country or government must realize that we as a people are not there to serve the government as some kind of slave. But yet the government is to be a slave of the people. That's right, people. I said it. The government is to be a slave, a servant of the people. The government is an entity. It's like your car. It's a slave to you. It drives you where you want it to go, not where it may want to go. And if you don't believe me, go in a turn, and while you're in the turn, let go of the steering wheel. See what happens. Your car will straight out and want to go straight. And our government should be serving the people, not the people serving the government. That's it, people. That's what the Constitutionalist is all about. Now, you might say, oh, I would like for you to go to this group, or I'd like for you to go to this group. JD is only one person. You are thousands. You need to take me to those groups. Show them and explain to them why to you I am important. Not me go to them and say I am important because of this. You need to go to your groups, your people, and everybody and say, JD is important because this is what he means to me. You, the individual. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm all about. You have to do it, not me. Thank you. This is JD.